Teenage angst, it's something all of us have dealt with. In this crucial middle stage between being a child and an adult, it's where most of our personalities develop. Our teen years can be seen as a crucible of sorts, where our characteristics, opinions, and idiosyncrasies are forged and perfected. In short, teenage identities are a window to who they will become later in life. This was very much the case with a young man who had everything a kid his age could ever ask for: family, friends, and a strong and extensive support network. However, all this would prove to be no match for the dark musings and cavernous corners of his own mind. His unceasing despair would lead him down a path that would only leave a trail of questions behind. Stay tuned as we delve into the bizarre disappearance of Lee Cutler. Next on Grim Visions.
My name is of no consequence. You may call me Grim. Thousands of people go missing in our world each year. Many are never found. I am amongst the lost, and as such I am compelled to bring you the stories of those I call the vanished. Be prepared, for these are my grim visions.
We begin in the affluent city of Buffalo Grove, Illinois, where 18-year-old Lee Sterling Cutler begins a seemingly normal day at Stevenson High School. Lee is described by his friends and family as an outgoing, inquisitive, and compassionate young man, but at the same time he could be secretive, shy, and somewhat withdrawn. He had a large, close-knit circle of friends that mostly stemmed from his local chapter of the B'nai B'rith Youth Organization, or BBYO for short. This large conglomeration centered around activities and programs for Jewish teens and young adults, and it was here that Lee spent most of his time. The night of October 19, 2007 was one of celebration and the promise of a good time for Lee and his mother, Beth Frazen, who had been invited to a close friend's birthday party at a local hibachi restaurant. By all accounts, the young man seemed to enjoy himself. Later that night, Lee had asked to stay the night at a friend's house, to which Beth readily agreed, quite unaware that this would be the very last time she would ever see her son. Lee has a normal sleepover with friends, mostly playing video games till the early morning hours. However, unbeknownst to them, the young man was secretly texting a few other close friends that night. The texts reveal that Lee was battling with what can only be described as a severe bouts of depression, something that he struggled with most of his teenage years. The next morning, Lee leaves his friends to head to his job at a clothing store at his local mall. He never arrives at his destination, and almost 11 years later, we are still wondering what happened to Lee Cutler on his way to work the morning of October 20th, 2007. Concerned that she had not heard from her son since the previous night, Beth Frazen starts calling all around. She visits Lee's place of employment, but no one has seen the young teen. Lee's mother enlists the aid of a close friend who happens to be a private investigator. The PI learns that Lee had been seen at a nearby truck stop the very morning he was thought to have disappeared. Police begin to suspect that Lee might have vanished intentionally and that the teenager was possibly suicidal at this point. They cite his history of depression, the cry for help type texts he had sent most of his friends, and most significantly, a prior suicide attempt just the year before. The result of a breakup Lee had had with his first girlfriend.
What are you talking about?
You're
See,
not
there's a red
funny.
light. I'm not trying to be funny. We're
Do you want me to fucking break up with you? Is this really, like, really that, like, more important than, like, making this relationship fucking better like we're supposed to the past fucking year?
2 days after Lee goes missing, his car is found in a remote farming section of nearby Baraboo, Wisconsin. A land and air search is mounted by Baraboo authorities to extensively comb through the surrounding farmland, and some intriguing clues are found. A rough makeshift campsite is found in some adjoining woods, and family members quickly identify many objects strewn about the scene as indeed belonging to Lee Cutler. Spurred on by the find, Beth Frazen makes a televised plea for her son's safe return.
This is breaking my heart. I love you so much. I have a void in my heart. It's just killing me. If you don't think you're loved, you're loved. You're loved. Your friends love you. Your parents love you. Your neighbors love you. That's it.
A few days after Beth's public appearance, 2 items are found near a river in Baraboo County. A Jewish kippah, which was identified as belonging to Lee, and a disturbing note. The note reads as follows. My head is too big for my body, but I think I'll finally get some sleep. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry for being a damn coward, but I love you. Just please be happy, Mom. The abandoned car was processed by Baraboo police, and 2 more intriguing things are found. A Walmart receipt from nearby Madison, Wisconsin leads police to a set of surveillance tapes that clearly show Lee Cutler entering and leaving the department store 5 hours after he is reported missing. A second clue in the form of an admission ticket to a Kettle Moraine National Park is also found. Police are able to discover that Lee entered the park at a reduced rate saved only for residents of Wisconsin. Since Lee was from out of state, it is unknown how he was able to enter as a Wisconsin resident. One perplexing theory about Lee's disappearance states that it was centered around his strong Jewish faith. The day he vanished correlates directly with a portion of the Torah in which God urges his followers to leave behind all that they know to a supposed promised land of sorts. Or in an even more radical twist, some even believe that Lee could have made his way over to Israel to immerse himself fully within his faith. However, these theories cannot be substantiated. 11 years on, and we are no closer to finding out the truth about the ultimate fate of Lee Cutler. I think I know what you must have been going through, Lee. To have the feeling that no matter what you do or where you go, you just never truly fit in. When your mouth says one thing and your mind says another. When you're everywhere and nowhere at the exact same time. Logic and emotion pulling you in 2 very different directions. Perhaps you finally found your place. Perhaps you didn't. Maybe we'll never know. But as I always say, question everything and trust no one. On behalf of Grim Visions, pleasant dreams.